This is Bert Cameron,
Dennis Mo Morals.
and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
I thought you said it was iCarly.
As a fan of Raven, what was it like to tag with him?
Oh, it was fun to tag with Raven. Obviously, it was a career highlight for me at the time because I was a huge fan. And then to have, I think it was Joe McDonald was mainly the promoter at the time for Central States. But I think Michael Strider had something to do with that. Maybe Steve Ward, who was out of St. Joe. When they wanted to put me in a tag match with them, it meant a lot to me. And especially since I've been a guy that's been in the area since '99, but I've always been kind of low card, mid card status. And for them to give me something that was main event, that was like a good confidence booster for me at the time. I was probably 9 or 10 years in at the time. And
you are now in the realest world with the realest Calvin Aldridge, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
I think the defining moment was WrestleMania 25. I was 12, I think. This is when those WrestleManias were starting to get really, really long. And they had a loaded pre-show, and, by the main event, everybody's worn out. So I had, my PSP with me, my whole gaming system, 12. So it got to the point where I was I'm wrestling out, and I would sit there. If there was a match that didn't interest me, I'd be playing on the PSP. And I remember Shawn Michaels and Undertaker had, I was sitting there, I put the PSP down, and I watched every second of that match. And I was it clicked. I was hell with all that other stuff. This is what I want to do. I want to have that reaction one day.
This is your Metro champion, Hardluck Hal Rogers, and congratulations, you found the I-70 Hot Tag podcast.
So that was at Black Label Pro, and it was very early on in my career, and it's a very special moment for me. I had a lot of big matches very early on, but that was very special to me because I view Kylie Rae as one of the best wrestlers in North America, period. Don't care about gender or anything else. And it was very all moment for me. And it really helped me click with wrestling for the first time. I was oh, I'm starting to get it. And that match was just one of the moments where I finally was okay, this is what I need to start doing.
This is the foreman, Red James, and I always get the job done. And you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
The Kansas City fans are I love Florida for Kansas City, man. It's an awesome fan base, and I just feel bad that there's not more wrestling for you guys, So that's what I want to bring. This Texas. I mean, being out of Texas, it's oversaturated with wrestling. In the Dallas territory alone, man, you got about 7 or 8, companies running it consistently, So it's just Kansas City, it just needs to be built up more, man. And I think we're on our way to doing it.
What's up, everybody? It is one half of the beautiful people and 7-time women's world champion Angelina Love. And aren't you lucky? You are watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
Hey, I'm Marcus Buff Bagwell, and you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag, baby. Check it out, and remember, no matter what, I'm Buff, and I'm still the stuff. Ha 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 ha!
And now, CR Media presents the I-70 Hot Tag with your host, Chaos Chase, and the real Josh Elliott.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 66 of the I-70 Hot Tag. I am the real Josh Elliott. Looks a little bit different at this second. We are waiting on Chase to get in here. He's running a little bit behind, but we are going to get things rolling. Again, this is episode 66, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Chat's already lighting up. Aaron Wallace, appreciate you tuning in, sir. And of course, Dickie Dick in the house. Should be boring. Not as boring as next week's going to be. Have you seen who's on the show next week? It's Ray Leon and Dick Richards. That one's going to be a snooze fest. Dean Houston, appreciate you tuning in, sir. Matt Stockdale in the house. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Guys, we got a big show for you tonight. We've got Heartland Championship Wrestling owner and promoter Billy Simmons on the show. But before we get there, got a few things to run through, guys. We are currently live on the I-70 Hot Tags Facebook page and our YouTube page, as we are each and every week. You can find us on all social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter. We've got a Reels on Instagram as well, so go check that out. Or Threads, actually. That's the new Facebook version of Twitter. We're on Threads as well. If you guys don't follow us on TikTok, we post exclusive show clips over there on our TikTok page. Go check it out. Johnny Faith in the house, former guest of the show earlier this year. And Sonny wants to know why we aren't live on MySpace. That is a good question. I think we need to look into MySpace and maybe even a Zanga. Zanga was a thing back in the day too, so maybe we can go live there, get more viewers, get that viewer count up. So again, guys, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. You can follow all of our accounts at our link tree, which is posted on all of our socials as well. To follow Chase, he's on CR Media 1988. He's on all socials as well. He's on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. You can follow my personal page at The Real Josh Elliott, same platforms, less wrestling content to talk about there. Want to give a huge shout out as we're kind of stalling for time for our guest who said he was going to be in the comments. I'm sure he'll show up at some point in time, unfortunately. Last week's guest, the foreman, Red James, took the call as he was down at a training session in South Oklahoma. So that was a very cool interview. Got to talk about his, coming ups in wrestling, what he's been doing for the last year. Did not realize he'd only been wrestling for a year. There he is. Did not rest. I thought he was doing it for a few years. So he's only been in the business a year. So pretty cool to talk to him, and got a pretty good intro clip sitting next to a buffalo. So if you know, you know. Shout out to our sponsors, Big Daddy's Donuts, our main event sponsor. They have 3 locations in the South Kansas City area, 2 locations in Raymore, Missouri, and 1 in Belton. If you guys are out and about in the South Kansas City area, and you want some donuts, and it's fairly early in the morning, go check them out. They do sell out quick. As we know, Brian J. Bebe has been by multiple times around the 10 o'clock time frame, and they have been sold out. So got to get there early. I'm going to try to catch up on these comments. I think it's Chase. It's actually late. Yeah. Let's see. Chubby Buddies. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate it. Bruiser Door, of course, in the house. You have so also our second who made these t-shirts, Dean's Trophies. They do also engravings for plaques. They do trophies. They do a whole bunch of stuff. They have 2 locations as well. They have Lee Summit a location in Lee Summit, and they've got one in Belton, Missouri as well. So go check them out if you're in the market for maybe a fantasy football trophy. It's coming up. We got a football game going on right now. NFL is back. And if you need a trophy, go check them out. They will hook you up. Also, guys, you can get all of our former episodes on our video on demand. All of our episodes are uploaded on YouTube, on our YouTube platform, as well as Facebook. And then we are very, very behind on our podcast. So I think we're about 3 months behind on that still. So if you want to see this, the up-to-date stuff, check out our YouTube. Appreciate it, Scott. Man, we got a busy chat tonight. Go Jags. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got another Florida NFL fan coming on here. We'll talk about that too. I don't think I'm gonna waste any time. Chase is just gonna have to miss the first part of the interview, guys. We'll bring him on. We have a very special guest. We've talked about it, promoted it all week. Some of you guys may know him inside the ring. He's behind a mask. He's known as the Beast Blade. We watched 2 of his matches on Monday night. But he has been a part of XWE. He has currently the owner and promoter of Heartland Championship Wrestling. And next weekend has his first event on August 12th in Leavenworth, Kansas at the local hotel. Please welcome our guest this evening, Mr. Billy Simmons.
That the hunt is on, but what happens when the hunted becomes the prey?
All right, that was pretty sick. That was pretty sick. But yeah,
appreciate that, sir. How you doing tonight?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Appreciate you taking the time out to get on here and promote some Heartland Championship Wrestling.
Man, I appreciate the offer to join you. The I-70 Hot Tag is the place to be on Thursday nights.
Hell yeah, man. Man, I'm telling you, this episode has been shared quite a bit. People are very looking forward to watching this, and a lot of our former guests have kind of credited you as in high praise, saying they wouldn't be where they're at if it wasn't for Billy Simmons. So one of them was he was, I'm trying to scroll back here, get his comment. Johnny Faith was credited you for and when we had him on, he talked about how he lives, I believe, in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
Right on that line by Florida.
Yeah, like makes that long drive up to Kansas to work for you. So that says a lot for about Billy Simmons, the man. So again, man, appreciate you tuning in, or not tuning in, but joining the show. And I wanted to start every interview like we always do. To tell us and our viewers, who is Billy Simmons?
And just good guy that enjoys professional wrestling, has been around it for a long time, and still to this day absolutely loves this business. Love my family and professional wrestling.
There you go. That's awesome. I kind of wanted to talk about first how you first broke into wrestling. I know, we watched your matches in 2019 on Monday, but tell us how you became Blade, how you broke into the business.
So I was doing backyard wrestling. In high school, we built a wrestling ring in my mother's backyard out of plywood and tires and stuff like that. And started getting with this company, another backyard company in Amarillo, and we was doing some backyard shows. That's where I found a young man by the name of Bryce, who was running Amarillo Championship Wrestling down in Amarillo. And his head trainer at the time was Private Terry Daniels, who used to tag team with Sergeant Slaughter. Of course, professional wrestling is what I wanted to do. So I got with them. They brought us in, watched some different stuff. So I was living in Hutchinson at the time. And we made the drive back. Me and my buddy Walter Oubre drove down, did a practice match for them. We drove back. A week later, Terry calls and says, "Hey, if you'll move to Amarillo, I'll train you." I think it was 3 days. I told my job I quit, had my car packed, and I took off. So that was the start of the fun little career.
That's awesome. When did you, when I was making that promo video for you, I noticed there was a few matches that you had without the mask.
Yeah.
When did the mask come into play?
So the mask came into play about 10 years ago. Really when I started pushing my second run into Kansas wrestling. So I trained in Amarillo, wrestled there forever. And then moved back to Kansas and really started to get in. I got hurt bad, so I missed a little bit of time. So when I came back, I wanted to challenge myself because I felt I could sell very well with my facial features. So to make myself better, you put the mask on, you really kind of hide the identity and really kind of get into that character. And I fell in love with it, the concept of it. You showed a couple clips where I had the old gear. It wasn't the best, but it was a cheaper mask. And then the mask I wear now is 100% custom. And the gear is all custom. So it just kind of turned from no mask to a mask. And like, I don't have much on like YouTube or anything without the mask. But I have VHS tapes without the mask. Not to date myself at all.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We have a guest.
Hey.
What's up, Chase?
How are you, gentlemen?
He must have been watching that NFL game going on, huh?
Absolutely not. I can't talk about on air what I got stuck doing. So, anyways, Billy, how are you, sir?
I am good. How about you?
I'm doing damn good, man.
Awesome.
Josh, where are we at on the rundown, sir?
9-8.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Billy, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been backstage for a few minutes, and the comments, dude, are just like I can't keep up with them. You've got these two dweebs.
Who's running their mouths?
Richard Richards says people named Chase suck. And then Angel says, way to ruin the podcast by letting him in here.
No, man.
Yep, that's fine.
Isn't Angel running from you guys right now? Like, isn't
he's
he
not running from
you
us
like on the regular?
Yeah, no, he's not running from us, but he's running from the two guys that I'm bringing. With
Howlets.
You're
bringing with you,
and that's fine. I mean, if you heard Hoodie and Anaya's promo that we played on the show last week, you will know that Hoodie and Anaya said Leavenworth is Howlet territory too. There's just some people got to be reminded, so and that's all right. Unfortunately, it's got to be ACFC that it gets the reminder. So, kudos to those guys. But Billy, I want to talk to you about on Monday, we watched 2 of your matches from 2019. The time you were the KWA Heartland champion. Talk to us about those 2 matches, one of which was defeating the connoisseur Niles Planquet.
Man, Niles is fantastic. Everybody knows like that dude is top notch. So anytime I get to be in the ring with that man, like I'm gonna take it. Just because even as long as I've been working, I always learn from him. I try to always learn. He's just very talented. So very fun match. We had worked a show probably a month before that. So we had a few things we wanted to do, kind of twist it up a little bit. And it was a good time. And then that four-way had some very young, talented people in it. Tino Valentino. Trying to think who else was in that match. Tino's a big one, I know, because cool thing Justin. Justin Gray. Yep. Justin Gray is a heck of a talent. I know he's been doing a lot of stuff with me in the tag division. Before then, he was doing some good stuff singlies also. So, yep. The other kid, I don't remember his name, but a cool story about Tino Valentino, man, is I talked to you earlier about Bryce Payne, Bryce Kruckenberg, who run HCW, and how I broke into the business. Tino is Bryce's nephew, I believe. He's related to Bryce in some ways, so we have that connection. So I'm really high on that kid.
We got a question and a few comments, but I want to highlight this one. Sunny Money says, who's your favorite ring announcer and why is it Sunny Money?
Listen, Sunny, I love you to death. Love you to death. But you're still number 2, bro. Because my brother, Chris the Voice, is 100% my favorite.
Nice. And then we've got a few other people. Of course, Red James is in here running his mouth.
Oh, my.
Simon Balesong says, always a pleasure to see your face, boss man.
It's a good kid.
And then Billy said he gets high. Billy is a drug addict. So
I get high on life, Red James. High on life.
Bruisador, I don't know if he's talking about me or you. He says he can't pronounce your name. Don't really care. I only remember important people's names. So, and people who lose to 90-pound front clerks at the hotel, Leavenworth local hotel, are not really important people to me. So, Bruisador and Angel are on jobber status as far as I'm concerned.
Man, throwing shots.
Yep. Hot dog and a handshake. That's all them 2 boys are going to get.
It's getting hot.
So, Billy, talk to us about, you spent some years working in the ring. Tell us about when you kind of transitioned to a promoter and started booking the shows and kind of what played a factor of, wanting to kind of step, even though you're still wrestling now, to step out of the ring and actually start booking shows.
So, I just joined XWE. When I joined XWE, they were kind of just coming out of the backyard. Bunch of friends that bought a company and took a shot on themselves, and they were doing a good job. Didn't have the correct training altogether, so I told them, I said, training something I've always been passionate about, and they took an opportunity and let me become the trainer. We started getting better. Paradox was one of the first ones that really stepped in and was like, yeah, let's get this guy going. So being able to train those guys and get them guys going, and where it went from a backyard product to a professional wrestling product really gave me a lot of joy. They couldn't pay me for training, so what they did was it gave me 25% of XWE. So at that time there was 4 owners, me, Nathan McClanahan, Duncan Curtis, and oh man, I'm sad I forget his name right now, and I'll remember it as soon as we're done. But there was 4 of us. Nathan and the other guy wanted to sell. They retired, had a bunch of stuff going on, just wanted to get out from under it. And so they offered me and Duncan to buy their quarters, and that's what we did. So wrestled for a while, but I'm one of those guys where I'm getting old. I don't move as well. I've got very, very bad knees. So I can make an appearance every now and then, let the fans get to say hi, wrestle one of my kids or two, and step to the back. let the young kids that are very, very talented showcase.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Billy, one of the questions that we have in here is from Sunny Money. Sunny Money wants to know if you are still affiliated with XWE and what was your decision to start HCW?
So I am not affiliated with XWE any longer. I am still very active with the KWA. I helped start that, so I am still right there. So a lot of my kids still work for XWE, so I have no hate in my heart for them. I wanted to expand, and I wanted to get bigger. I wanted to move into Wichita. Wanted to do some other stuff and keep running Salina. Me and Duncan just didn't have the same visions. He absolutely loves XWE and will continue to run it very well and the top notch, just like it's been. And we parted ways on good terms, and I went to do my thing. My agreement is I'll stay out of Salina as long as it doesn't start failing.
Yep. So Billy, my question for you is, we've had a couple of promoters on the show, in the past, and we've always liked to ask about, your booking philosophy, so to speak. So what bullet points do you try to cover when putting a show together?
So, I go in steps. You want the crowd to start off enjoying it. You don't want the first match of the night to be lackluster and immediately make the crowd boring. That sets a bad tone for your show. So some of those first matches, if we really want banger matches, and then you just build to that main event and really have put on something the fans enjoy, give them slower matches in decent times to get their breaths, and the fast-paced matches to really get them on their feet, and all leading to that main event, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So he asked it a million times. I'm just going to show it. Red James wants to know, why won't you book him, Billy?
I thought about booking him a time or two, and every time I do, his big mouth opens up. But I might give him a shot. If he keeps asking, keeps being nice, maybe, I got it. If he will apologize to Josh and Chase and tell them the I-70 is the best podcast today, I'll book him next time he's free.
I don't hate it. I'll tell you what, he knocked over my beautiful I-70 hot tag championship a few times at the last XWE event. So I would appreciate an apology. Wouldn't you, Josh? Wouldn't you love an apology?
I would love an apology.
We would love an apology.
Yeah.
Red, we would love an apology. Never happening. Huh? Guess you'll be working in Oklahoma carrying Fuego del Sol's bags. So
I mean, they make bad bags to carry.
Yep.
So let's kind of transition into August 12th. You got your first show, Summer Showdown, Leavenworth local hotel. We've got 6 matches announced. Surprise 7th match we're going to announce right here on the show. But we'll kind of run through. We'll bring the graphic up, give you a couple minutes to kind of talk about each match and kind of get going on this event. So I believe this was your first match announced. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but we've got Johnny Faith taking on Chris Vale, who I don't think I believe we haven't seen in Kansas. At least Chase and I haven't since UUCW back in November.
That is correct.
So I know he wrestles a little bit in WWX, so he may be wrestling out there. But gonna be good to see Johnny Faith back too. Haven't seen him in a while in Kansas either. So
that's Chris Vale is an excellent competitor. He's worked all over Kansas. He's won the opportunity to go over into Japan, if I could talk. So he won the opportunity to go over to Japan with Sonny Ono, went over and did that. And he's a heck of a competitor. And then Johnny Faith, my little pit bull himself, heck of a fighter, always ready for war. And I think that's going to be a heck of a fight.
Yeah, I can't agree more. The footage we've seen from all the matches we looked up for Johnny Faith when we did Johnny Faith's interview was great. We've seen Chris Vale in person. He went to war with Ray Leon in Wichita, Kansas when Josh and I saw him, and it was quite the war they went to. So Josh and I's chair got taken out in that match.
Yep. We about got taken out.
Yeah, we did. But Sonny Money says Johnny Faith is going to smack this chump all over Leavenworth. Couldn't agree more. Like I said, man, we are super excited for this match.
Yep. All right, next up in a singles match, one half of Chancla Violence, Bruisador, is taking on Aaron Helms.
Yes, we applaud Bruisador for being able to show up to this event, unlike his friend.
Yeah, he didn't stub his toe like his buddy did.
Yep. Actually, Billy, real quick before we get into this match, I got a question to ask you. I got a bone, not a bone to pick with you, but just a little insight. Okay. HCW posted the promo of Bruisador where he's reading the letter from Angel that Angel literally says, "I'm not really injured. I just don't want to show up." Is Angel gonna face some repercussions for that?
I had a conversation with Angel, and like normal, he kind of just blew me off. His buddy Bruisador here has to face a hard-hitting Aaron Helms, so maybe Aaron will, tone him up a little bit, teach Bruisador a lesson, maybe see Angel might come out of his little hiding hole.
Yep. I think Bruisador should have to wear all the American apparel that Angel sent him in that package.
Ooh, you think that should be the punishment? Is Bruisador has to come to the ring with all the American stuff?
Yeah, all that Angel sent it to him. He gave it to him, so he's got to come. I think he should have to. I think he should have to do that. So
interesting. Maybe I'll have to reach out to Dick Richards and see if he'll listen, or I'll have to find him again.
Yep. Agreed.
But go ahead.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say I'm just flipping over here. We got this match was just recently announced. Chance Kerrigan, extremely excited to see him back, taking on Logan Knight. Both of these guys, I believe, were at. I know Chance was at the first Leavenworth show that you and I went to, Chase, and Logan was at the most recent one, if I'm not mistaken, or vice versa. But this is going to be a very exciting match, and sneaky show stealer here. Obviously the Howlets, but this might be the single show stealer here.
I'm excited for this match too. It will open the show.
Ooh,
nice. I'll tell you what, I'm excited this one's going to open the show because we hadn't seen or heard much about Chance Kerrigan prior to us doing this show. And man, I'll tell you what, when we found out how young he was into the business and we saw him at HCW, or not HCW, I apologize. We saw him in Wichita in a promotion, and he showed up that night not ready to wrestle, or I mean, not expecting to wrestle. He showed up with his gear though. And then they not only had him wrestle, but they also had him ring announce. And he's just got this, he's got a charismatic about him that just, which is crazy because I mean, like if you talk to the kid in person, you know, he's real quiet and stuff like that. You know, I don't want to pull the curtain back too much, but you know, like I said, you talk to him and he's quiet. He's got a humility about him, you know. But I mean, you know, you put him in the ring and you give him a mic and it clicks, it turns on. So I've become a big fan of Chance Kerrigan, and I'm pulling for him in this match. So I'm very excited to see this open the show.
He is a very good kid, man. When he first came to me, the background he had when he started training with me was very exciting, and then his quick knowledge and love of what we do. Just he gets it.
Yep.
So I'm gonna bring the graphics down here. We got some comments. Blair Dior in the house says he'll wrestle Red, but I'd hope Blair would want an actual challenge though. Wouldn't you, Blair? You know what's on the night off.
Yeah.
Agreed. Stop kissing butt. Nancy boy sucks. Yes, that's why he's the social media champion, and Red James is not.
Agreed.
Oof.
Although you know, Billy, I don't know if you heard me tell Red this during our interview. I will give Red a little bit of credit. Since Chance Kerrigan has won that social media championship, haven't seen a whole lot of Chance on social media. As you know, when Red won that championship, Red was everywhere. I got a notification on my phone at 3:00 in the morning that he was live on Facebook. It was y'all driving to North Carolina
North Carolina. Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, and then he posted a live of him at Waffle House. I mean, if I say anything good about Red James, I'll say that he literally embodied what you would think a social media champion would be. So
I don't disagree.
So I did want to. We talked a little bit before the show, and I said we have a announcement. One of your matches that has not been announced yet. The graphics not done yet, but we have a women's match. We're going to see Stormy Renee versus Mindy Grace versus Shooter Shailin. So this one is I'm extremely excited for. As you guys know, I'm a big women's wrestling fan. Shailin has been a favorite of ours since we started the hot tag and since we were first introduced to her. We've got Sydney's a huge Stormy Renee fan. Absolutely. And then Mindy Grace, you know, she made her debut just recently, in-ring debut, and she's impressed as well. So, man, this is going to be a great women's match on your first show.
I'm excited for it. All them women work their butts off. Any of them could main event any card. Mindy's still learning, but for as young as she is, she's understanding. She's just got to put the pieces the rest of the way together. Proud of them. And, you know my feelings on Stormy Renee. I think everybody does. That's my kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sid looks like Sydney is a big Stormy Renee fan as well. So
yep. So we've got a mystery.
Hey, yeah. Who is Cody Buckner?
Cody Buck. That's it. That's the other XWE owner at the time. Man, and I feel so bad that I forgot Cody. Cody's a great dude. Cody's problem that he had to sell was he was having to fly to Canada constantly for his job. I still talk to Cody every now and then. I haven't reached out in a while, so I'm glad you reminded me. Thank you.
All right, so we've got a Simon Balasong is going to take on a mystery opponent. Now, will this opponent be announced at the show? Will it be announced before?
More than likely, it'll be announced day of. I know who it is, and not many people do, but I'm excited to see this match and how they do.
Awesome. Let's see. Another one I am extremely looking forward to. Say what you will, but this one right here, Ray Leon taking on Tino Valentino. This one, I said the Logan Knight match could be a sneaky show stealer, but this one right here could be as well. This whole card has been phenomenal, but two phenomenal athletes. I was a big fan of Tino when we saw him down in Wichita, and obviously we know what Ray can do. We've seen him many times too. So, this one's going to be fun.
Yeah, this match, in my opinion, could have main evented. There's a few matches on this card that could have main evented. So I'm very excited on this one too. Ray's a good worker. He's just a loudmouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he aligns himself with people, and I'm sure one day Ray will wake up and be like, man, I have enough talent that I don't have to carry around Dick, and Valencia Paz. So, but until then, I can't repeat enough of what Josh said. As soon as this match was announced, I immediately messaged Josh. I was like, yo, did you see the match they announced? And so we're excited for it. Like I said, got to see Tino up close in person in Wichita. We've seen Ray a few times, and it's amazing. So this is going to be this, and I don't have any qualms with saying this, Billy. I think this match should be the main event. And I know what the main event is. So
yeah.
This graphic does say Ray Leon and not Dick Richards, correct?
Well, anywhere Ray Leon is, all you have to do is look on his behind part and you'll find Dick Richards.
Yep.
Oh, that's that joke writes itself.
And in the main event, we all know we got the Howlets, the tribe, making the hour drive up north to take on Austin Reddick and Tommy Two Goods, ACFC, who apparently his strategy is to just douse themselves in baby oil, and that's how they're going to beat the Howlets. Just be too slippery to grab.
I've been in the ring with them guys. I don't know.
It was a great
promo,
do it. I'll tell you that promo was great.
I laughed when they sent it to me. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we know the Howlets very well. Living in Kansas City and the most dangerous tag team, being from Kansas City. It's hence why when Angel and Bruisador told us to find a tag team, Josh and I didn't have to think twice. We immediately thought about the Howlets. So, but ACFC, obviously, we're very familiar with Austin in the Kansas City area. He has very close ties to Heidi Howitzer and a few other people down here. So, and then Tommy Too Good, man. I met that kid, and another, kid's got a humility about him. Great look to him as well. So, it's just unfortunate that they have to take on the Howlets. So,
don't count my kid out.
I know. I'm not going to
show up.
I absolutely 100% agree that these two will show up and show out for this match. But at the end of the night, I'm going with that. I'm going with the tribe. So
it's gonna be a good one.
Yes, it's worth the price of admission alone.
Yep.
So yeah. Obviously, if anybody in the chat has not already got your tickets for Summer Showdown, Heartland Championship Wrestling in Leavenworth, Kansas. First, like I said, the Leavenworth local hotel where the show is being shown at is a great show. Or not a great venue. It's got a lot of history to it. The match will be in the gymnasium again, like it was before, right?
It's a little different though.
Yes.
Did they take those rooms out now?
They did.
Well, I was gonna say they had to take that one out because
somebody went through it.
Yeah, Johnny Gambino put somebody through it. So. But the hotel staff is amazing, regardless of what Dick Richards says. He's only upset because he got pinned by both of them. So I would be upset as well. But definitely get you a ticket, guys. Like I said, go look at the Leavenworth local hotel for the history of it. Like we talked about, it's a school. They have chalkboards in some of the rooms. Then stay for some wrestling. It's going to be a great event. Lots of fun. We're super excited about it, Billy. So cannot wait. One more week.
And then Friday night, we're gonna host karaoke there at that little bar area with DJ Dan.
I like it. I don't hate it. Billy and I share the same birthday, so anything, I look for any excuse to drink. So, and then there was one more thing here. Oh yes, I already showed that. And then, so Billy kind of talked to us about, you've got the karaoke thing coming up. Yeah. And obviously you have the August 12th date coming up. Now, what other bookings, ventures do you have going on? Kind of talk to us a little bit about that. I know HCW released its calendar, which is very exciting as well.
For sure. So we've been working hard on getting a venue. There's still a couple of towns we want to lock in for next year, but got with the Osage Rec Center in Wichita, Kansas, and set some dates with them. So we've got 4 dates with them, and then 1 more in Leavenworth for the year, and really going to kick the rest of this year off hard, going into next year. I've told people I have a goal. I want to run a minimum of 2 shows a month throughout Kansas, if not 3. So hitting different towns, not just in one place. I've already locked 6 dates in for Leavenworth for next year. And we're at 12 next year for Wichita. So starting off at 18 going into next year. So not too far away from my goals for next year. So pushing hard, looking to do some fun stuff.
I feel bad because I didn't say anything the first time he asked this question, and he's found a different way to ask it all 3 times. So Sonny wants to know who's the greatest Dolphin of all time, and why is it Zach Thomas?
It is 100% Zach Thomas. It's my favorite Miami Dolphin of all time. I went to high school in Pampa, Texas, and so Zach Thomas came from there. So he came down while I was playing middle school ball, and would show us working out, would do different stuff with us. 100% huge Zach Thomas fan.
Sonny Money then revised the question later on in the show and said, who's the greatest Miami Dolphin of all time, and why is it Sam Madison?
That's I don't know if that's the greatest of all time.
And then he said, who's the greatest Miami Dolphin of all time, and why is it Ted Ginn Jr.?
It is not Ted Ginn Jr., but Ted Ginn Jr. was a good ball player.
He was. I noticed we had a couple people doing that, asking the same question or saying the same thing over again.
Different ways.
Our attention. So, and then I saw Sonny asked it like twice, and then when I saw the third time, I was like, I noticed he said Ted Ginn, and I was like, I know damn sure he didn't say Ted Ginn the first time he asked that question. I noticed he asked it a bunch of different ways.
Of course, it'd be Sonny.
Right.
Matt Stockdale says, I have a picture with the greatest Dolphin coach hanging on my wall in my classroom.
That's
be Don
fantastic. It has to be Don Shula.
It has to be Don Shula. And I'm very confused why Sonny didn't have
Dan Marino.
Yeah, how come Dan Marino wasn't in that selection?
Right.
No clue.
That's weird.
Ricky Williams, he's on the wall.
Yeah, I saw that.
So at the at Leavenworth, will you guys have, or it may be too early, who knows? Actually, you've got a shirt. Is there a will you have shirts for sale? HCW shirts at the Leavenworth show?
We are working on getting shirts created. It's they were way more expensive than the last time I went and bought some shirts. And I want to have a bulk. So, and I'm a big guy, so I want to make sure there's at least up to 6X. So any and everyone that wants a shirt can get a shirt.
My man.
Woo.
My man. Woo. I got to get at least a 4X. Check the scale the other day, man. I might need a 5X. So,
man, these kids have been destroying me out in the Bears den, so I've kind of dropped some weight.
Yeah, I bet.
And I don't even do nothing but sit there and yell.
I know. Sonny, where can everybody find you? And you and HCW on social media.
So it's HCW Live almost on everything. So it's HCW Live on Facebook, HCW Live on Twitter, Instagram. I don't know if we're on Twitter. I think we are. Our YouTube will be HCW Live. We've already kind of locked everything in for that. So we try to keep real close on the same thing. So HCW Live is where you're going to find most of our stuff. Facebook is what gets updated the most. I'm still old school. I'll get to all those other ones eventually. I've got a pretty good guy that keeps up with a lot of that social media stuff. So getting him to move into the other stuff. Listen, my space was the jam back in the day.
Back in the day. Yeah. So Billy, real quick, it's kind of a little off the cuff here. I know we're getting ready to close this out and I'll let you get out of here, but when we talked to, or I can't remember if it was on Monday or last week when we talked to Red James, there was a mention that XWE has rebranded their Heartland Championship. Now,
go ahead.
I was going to say, I thought you mentioned something in the comments that said that was on purpose, and I was going to ask you about that.
Okay. So the KWA, like I had mentioned earlier, still a big part of it, still help run it. You know, that was one of my brain trust for Kansas wrestling. But when we took the name Heartland Championship Wrestling, I bought the rights to the Heartland title. So therefore, for the KWA, their main title had to be rebranded. Respect for me and my company, which I appreciated from all the other guys involved. And that's the main thing.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what that because when you said it was on purpose, I was pretty sure you were talking about that, but I wanted to make sure, and so that's cool. Sunny Money wants to know who is the most underrated talent in KWA.
Oh man. Man, that's hard.
That is really hard.
That's a rough one. Because there's a lot of good young talent within the KWA. Some of them get lost in, different avenues. I think when it comes to the KW in general, I'm gonna pick Chance Kerrigan. you know, he hasn't been around too long, but he's put on some good matches, and I think you keep an eye on that kid, and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, no, you know, again, when we started, you know, we've talked about this 100 times on this show, but when we very first started the podcast, we told ourselves like, hey, we'll cover the 2, maybe 3 promotions in Kansas, and then we'll cover, you know, the 3 or 4 here in Missouri between Kansas City and St. Louis, and the list is up to 25, maybe 23. I think a couple of them have shut down, but a few of them have gone defunct. So yeah, we're at like 25, 26, and that's just all we know and we cover now. And
Nice.
when we started Kansas, it completely opened a huge door. So I completely understand why that question was super hard. I mean, you've got Stormy Renee, who's fantastic. She's a great female talent. You know, Red James, Chance Kerrigan, Tommy Too Good, Valencia, Ray Leon. I think Ray Leon's a fucking star. I mean, just a lot of those. I mean, what you've been able to like capture right there in the KWA from, you know, Colorado or, you know, Oklahoma or whatever, and bring it to Central Kansas, you know, or East Kansas, you know, it's absolutely, completely. All those guys are underrated. I can't pick one. So
love it.
So Billy, this is just last question before we kind of close things out. I wanted to ask, this is your first show, so are you planning on recording the show and uploading it in full on YouTube? Do you plan on live streaming it? How do you plan on producing your show?
So plans are, of course, we're going to record everything, get a YouTube channel going, get it going. As more and more shows come and revenue comes, we're planning on buying like legit video recording stuff, because I have a huge goal of there's not a place in Kansas on a streaming service that is huge around in our area, and I want to be one. I want the talent in Kansas to get opportunities, but to be seen by more than just around here. So that's one of my big goals, is get that up and running where we can be streaming stuff, doing lives, different stuff like that. But it's a work in progress. If you've never tried to build a wrestling company, it has been quite expensive. So we gotta work to the other big stuff.
Right.
Yeah, agreed. So Sonny Money brought this up. He brought this up on Monday or last week, and I love the idea. He wants to do a Wrestle Talk podcast, I-70 hot tag pre-show for HCW, and it should just be hours of content of us shitting on Red James. And that right there, he sold me on. So
listen, if I could get the Wrestle Talk podcast, the I-70 hot tag, and maybe my brother's Chubby Buddies podcast to do this one big little pod. How many podcasts actually work together? There's a question for y'all.
Very, very few.
Very little, yeah.
I'll tell you what, when we very first started sponsoring events, somebody came up to us and was like, hey, if we get you as a sponsor, you're going to be the only podcast the sponsor. And I was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, like, so I guess it's like I guess it's like a thing where, you know, just like here's my thing, Billy, and here's what I want to change about the wrestling scene. And it is you, XWE, any promotion. I'm not picking on you or any. I'm saying any promotion is never going to be WWE or AEW. And as long as somebody isn't deliberately trying to shit on you and your promotion, as promoters, I think it is beautiful to work together. Why wouldn't you?
I agree.
I mean, if I ran a show on Friday night and you ran a show on Saturday night, I think that's amazing. Because then guess what? If I call in special talent from, you know, the East Coast or the West Coast, guess what? I'm gonna give them your number, and you know what? They're gonna go, well, I'm already here. You don't have to pay my gas and hotel.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
But that's the way the business is, and I want to see it different.
It is one of the big reasons I helped start the Kansas Wrestling Alliance, is because that is a goal of mine also. Too many people fight and argue, and it hurts the wrestlers.
Yep.
It don't hurt the promoters. It hurts the wrestlers and the fans, and that's got to change. And until that changes, wrestling's going to stay like it is. And then when people learn to open their hearts and let that change happen, this business is going to flurry, and it's going to get bigger than what it is now. And we're on a rise. If you watch crowds now growing,
oh yeah,
WWE, AEW, independents are growing. Like, people are starting to enjoy wrestling again. Don't let the hate or the jealousy of one company hurt people working together and make wrestling great.
Yeah, you know, we Josh and I didn't start this podcast to just like, we started it because I believe that the Midwest has just as good of talent as the East Coast and the West Coast. So you always hear about Northeast independent wrestling. Those guys always make it big. They always go to AEW and WWE and et cetera, et cetera. I think our talent, Stormy Renee, I mean, you know, Red James, Ray Leon, all these guys could put on just as good of shows as those guys do. And I want them to make money. So, you know, I mean, because have you ever watched a young wrestler go, yeah, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not making any money. I can't do this. You know, like that sucks. Like that's not good for the fans. That's not good for the business. You know, if you watch a super talented athlete and a super talented kid wrestler who's 23 go, hey, Billy, sorry, I can't do this anymore, man. I just can't. I'm not making enough money. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah,
it
sucks.
It is sad.
And they, you know, obviously, you know, like these kids didn't become professional wrestlers to make money right off the bat. Like they know it's a work in progress, right?
And I teach them that.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, shit, like it'd be nice to at least pay your light bill so they're fucking on when you get back home, right?
Right, for sure.
You know, but Billy, you know, that's why I'll be honest with you, man. That's why we gravitated to you when you were with XWE, because, you know, like when Josh and I talk to you, or especially when I talk to you, you know, I see that same like passion and that same love for the business. And it's like, okay, these people I can get behind. And, you know, so that's why, you know, we wanted to sit down and have a talk with you and love what you're doing, man. And cannot wait for next weekend. So,
man, I'm excited too, guys. I hope y'all stick around afterwards. You know, we'll be having a good time, and stick around and enjoy us. Thank you for letting me be on. I've enjoyed my time.
Shit, boy, you already know. Absolutely.
Us April guys, you know how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Billy, we appreciate it. I think what we'll do is we'll close it out like we do every other interview. We'll make you full screen. If you would, sir, say this is Billy Simmons, and you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag. So you can start whenever you get to the full screen.
Gotcha. This is Billy Simmons with Heartland Championship Wrestling, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
I love it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, sir. Can't wait for next weekend. We will see you in Leavenworth on August 12th.
Have
Adios,
a good one,
sir.
fellas.
Bye,
Later.
buddy. See you later.
All right. Billy Simmons talking to us
Billy.
about Heartland Championship Wrestling. Like he mentioned, guys, Heartland Championship Wrestling is going to run in Leavenworth, Wichita, and Billy's working on getting other dates out there. Leavenworth is an hour away from Kansas City, guys. If you can make the pilgrimage, it is well worth it. Like I said, I've talked a million times about the rich history of the Leavenworth local hotel, but going and watching a wrestling show there is going to be lots of fun. And I'm glad we got room for extra seats, man. So, cause that hole in the wall was going to be an eyesore, but we appreciate everybody joining us for the interview, guys. It's not over. It's not over by a long shot. We are just getting started. We're going to take a 5-minute intermission. When we get back, Josh and I are going to talk. We have an exclusive XWE Gold Rush match to announce. We also have a couple other things to talk about. We're gonna break down Central States Wrestling, results. Then we're also going to talk about St. Louis Anarchy Circus Maximus, which was sponsored by the I-70 Hot Tag. Like I said, very, very, very excited, guys. Don't go anywhere. Because we're going to make fun of circumstances and his love for Jeremy Wyatt. So
yes, we are.
That's all going to be on the show when you get back. So stay tuned.
See you guys in 5.
Dear Brusador, it is Angel de Paz. I regret to inform you that I will not make it to August 12th for Heartland Championship Wrestling. It's not that there's anything wrong with me, I just really don't want to go. You know how those idiotas, all of them, really. But anyways, I heard from an inside source that you were facing a real American for the American ways to enjoy their nights. So here is something to help you with your fight against the so-called protege, Aaron Helms. The sombrero of freedom, the fedora of freedom, but most importantly, the chancla, perfectly camouflaged so he will not see it coming. These idiotas, these mensos, they mock us, Brusador. Take care of the protege. Love you.
Donuts with 3 Kansas City metro locations. You can't buy happiness, but you can buy donuts, and that's kind of the same thing. I can't wait to sink my teeth into one. Big Daddy's Eat Old Donuts.
HCW's first show on August 12th is coming up. And of all things, Dick Richards, have a match. My very first match, I assume that it's going to be for a title of some sort. I'm going to wrestle Tino Valentino. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to lose a bunch of weight, get in shape, shooting star press, all that good stuff.
What are you doing?
I'm getting ready for my match.
When?
At the first HCW show.
Last time I checked, you were wrestling that night.
Yeah, on the card it says Dick Richards versus Tino Valentino.
What? Say it again.
Dick Richards versus Tino Valentino.
See, wait. Last time I checked, the card said Ray Leon versus Tino Valentino.
I signed the contract. It said Dick Richards versus Tino Valentino.
I got the payment. It said Ray Leon versus Tino Valentino.
Okay, how about this? We both wrestled Tino Valentino.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, this is gonna be great. This is great. I'm gonna take his room.
Welcome back, everybody, to the I-70 Hot Tag.
Look at that hair just blowing in the wind.
I know. Sorry. I had the fan going while the intermission was on. A couple things here. Circumstances says, I've seen who you people cheer for. Your mocking means nothing. Circum, what do you mean, you people?
Uh-oh.
What's that mean, bro? What you mean by that? What's that mean? And then he says, is that dude's name Richard Richards? I got it. It gets better. It gets better. It's Richard Richards. So that's why we call him the Triple Dick.
Triple Dicks. Yeah.
Yep. Dick. He goes by Dickie Richards. But
we had no idea it was that until we had Ray Leon on, and he said it was
Yes.
Richard Richards. So
yes.
All Triple Dicks.
Yep. Three dicks.
Three dicks. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, we just got done interviewing Billy Simmons, owner and promoter of Heartland Championship Wrestling. I wanted to kind of run down this real quick. August 12th, is their first show. But they're going to be in Wichita, September 23rd, October 21st, and November 11th. So if you guys are in the Wichita area, go check them out, and then back November 4th to Leavenworth. So
absolutely. Even if you want to make the drive, it's, definitely worth it. Watching Billy put on a show, HCW, kind of the same of what he did at XWE. Obviously he wasn't alone in XWE, but, Billy booking the shows, like I said, definitely going to be a great show. Got the birthday guy in the chat. He says, "What's up, bitches? Stitchomania, brother."
Celebrating his birthday with the hot tag.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate it
either. It's good questions. Why is the I-70 hot tag belt laying down?
I know. I had it laying down.
Appreciate it, Scott.
Now
he's gonna block it on their belt.
I know. That's fine. I'm gonna get some shelves back here and all that good stuff. So XWE, speaking of, Billy used to book XWE. We have a special announcement.
Yes, we do.
From XWE.
Yep, we've got a video that we're gonna play here that is going to announce the match announcement, and then we'll chat about it. So give me 2 seconds. I didn't have this prepped up.
I don't want to hear it! What? We finally got a title shot. Oh, good. XWE? KWA Tag Team titles? Wonderful. So we face JK Pop. Finally. After all these months of them stealing our victory, we only have to beat JK Pop. Rebel Hearts are in the match too. What? Curse you, Rebel Hearts!
So it will be on August 26th, XWE Gold Rush 2023, the KWA Tag Team Championship in a triple threat tag team match. The champions, JK Pop, will defend against Valencia y Paz and the Rebel Hearts. Exclusive match announcement here on the I-70 Hot Tag.
Man, I'm a little excited for this match.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger.
I don't know, man. What are we doing Saturday, August 26th?
We may be making a trip to Salina.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But the card that they've released out is looking good so far. Definitely like I said, definitely going to be a fun event to attend. It's in Salina. I know it's a little bit out of the Kansas City wheelhouse, but obviously, you guys watched this show for the past year. You guys know that we cover Kansas and Missouri all through. So just like I encourage people to make the pilgrimage to St. Louis for St. Louis Anarchy, Glory Pro, WrestleMax, any of those promotions, I definitely do the same thing with Wichita, Salina, Topeka, whatever the case may be. Head down there, check that out. It's going to be lots of fun. Definitely. So,
yep. So, moving on, guys, we've got some, did you see the Glory Pro announcement?
I saw the graphic. I didn't see a video, and it looks like we have a video. So
we do. It is a big announcement for Glory Pro. We'll play it. And,
is this their September announcement?
It is.
Okay.
Cool. It is. Yep. It's starting in September. So let's there it is. Let's take a gander.
I gotta put on my uni for this. Yeah. Hey, who you with? I'm with the team to be the champ by any means. Hey, what we do? We win together. Too many rings. Who do it better? Yeah, running. We won't stop. Competition got them on lock. Shut them down, open up shop. Yeah, up 20 with the top spot. You 20 down like it's spot. Hey, who you with? I'm with the team to be the champ by any means. Hey, what we do? We win together. Too many rings. Who do it better?
So that is huge. If you're a wrestling fan, Glory Pro fan, you can't make it out to Glory Pro has great production. They always stream live on YouTube. I know they were doing Fight TV for a little bit, but I think they've gone back to YouTube. So this is a huge announcement for them. They are going to run weekly or bi-weekly events.
Weekly.
And you can get early access if you sign up for their Patreon. but these are going to be free on YouTube. It's huge, man.
How bad? Yeah, that's a huge announcement. Only the second company in our area, KCXW, that has a weekly show.
Yes,
and you're gonna see, they feature KCXW features a lot of their school talent out of the XWC. Possibly, I don't know. There's a lot of big name talent there on the Glory Pro graphic, but I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of Forge members, trainees come through there, get their opportunity. It'll help Glory Pro build storylines like KCXW does. Not that they don't already do a good job of that, but it'll help. And man, they're doing some great things over there in St. Louis. Dan the Dad is killing it in the St. Louis area, as are all the other promotions as well. But Glory Pro Ascend. Go follow Glory Pro's YouTube page. I don't know if they fully transitioned to YouTube. They like you said, they were on Fight for a while, then they went to YouTube, then back to Fight, and they almost alternate, but it might be a full on back to YouTube now, and it's all free. So
yeah, like the graphic said, you can sign up for a Patreon to get exclusives, plus get it early. Super cool, man. So excited for them. Like I said, like you mentioned, they're down there killing it. Speaking of somebody else that's killing it, Central States Wrestling just had their event, and do you have?
I do. I'm going to pull it up now. So we're going to, Chase and I, this is the first Central States Wrestling event since No Turning Back, when they transitioned from DWF to CSW, that neither one, Chase or I, were
off. Sorry, my bad.
Neither one of us were in attendance for. So I do have the results, but and I'll get to what I wanted to talk about here in a second. But
I wanted to talk about the results, and then I saw you had all that other gibberish there, and I was like, "What is going on?"
So okay, so
don't worry, circumstances. You're gonna love this next part after we're done breaking down the results.
He's already seen it. It's just talking about what we posted earlier today. But pre-show match featured a guy we saw in St. Louis, Orion Starlight.
Nice.
He was in the pre-show against Rex Amadeus, and Orion came out victorious, defeated Rex. So that's how the evening started out. Again, we don't know really any details of the matches, so we can't really speak to them. We're just going to kind of read it as it happened. The Howlets defeated Miracle Violence Reborn. So, and a big shout out to Brian J. He hooked me up
there you go.
Earlier today.
So you said the Howlets defeated Miracle Violence Reborn?
Yep. We already knew this, and I will never understand the reasoning, but Gil Rogers gets his second win in Kansas City, and by doing so, he defeats the Black Diamond Luke Langley. Is what it is. Can't say much more. Maddox defeated Austin Reddick.
Hey, you know what? If you don't like the way that it's booked, then you should shut up and book a show yourself.
You know. Maddox defeated Austin Reddick. Then we had a tag team match. The Hate Keepers defeated the Premier.
But I saw the pictures after the match.
And actually,
no, you're right. You're right. My bad.
Yeah, get ahead of yourself. I will talk. I do want to stop and talk about that point, though. Ethan Price, the big he's the America's Sweetheart now. Ethan Price defeated Papalipto. And then the match we were talking about, Scott Tyler defeated Mike Outlaw. And this is where the Premier comes out, because Roscoe was out there, and they turned on Roscoe after the match, and they beat down Roscoe and Scott Tyler. The Premier did. So Might see a Premier versus Scott Tyler and a tag partner at the next event, which is not happening until, is it October? Is that right? A couple months, I believe.
Yes,
so a
that is
couple months
correct.
off for CSW.
Yes.
So Scott Tyler does continue to be undefeated in his singles streak. And then Conan Lycan defeated Kenny Alfonso and Dan the Dad. So he won the triple threat. And what I wanted to have, I had on the rundown here, and we posted earlier today, in the Iron Man match, in a score of 4-3, the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt defeated Dak Draper to become the DWF and Central States Wrestling champion. And
The undisputed
champion, correct.
That is
He has both belts. And I don't know what they're going to do with the belts, or if they're going to just continue to wear both of them, defend one at a time. I don't know what CSW has planned there, but Jeremy Wyatt is your champion. And what I posted on our socials today, which I'll get into this in a minute, I posted, do you think Jeremy Wyatt is the Ric Flair of Kansas City wrestling? He's got 19 heavyweight championship runs, and that's just according to Cage Match. We know Cage Match doesn't have every single one of his title reigns. He's a multi-time tag champion, multi-time pure champion. And like Sonny said in the comments of one of them, he doesn't put on the same match twice, unlike Ric Flair does or has. So he would like to, and I don't know if he's in the chat. Nope. He would have said it's more like a Bret Hart or a Harley Race. But I wanted to ask you, man, like, is there anybody actively wrestling in the Kansas City area that you could definitively say is better than Jeremy Wyatt?
So before I mutter that shit that you just asked me to mutter, I think, I think I understood what you were saying by saying that, because of all the title reigns.
That was my initial reason I did it.
Yeah, Jeremy's been going for over 20 years, and all the championships that he's won through Kansas City, through Missouri. So I agree with you. And then also I agree with Sonny as well. Because of Jeremy's wrestling style, I look at Jeremy more like a Harley Race or a Bret Hart, especially Jeremy's, technical wrestling and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I hate it when I feel like I have to do this, which I don't. I know I don't have to. For those that watch the show, we play along, we mess with the heels and we, cheer the baby faces. Right. The reality is that I love and respect this business so much. And guys like Red James and Ray Leon and Valencia are all guys that I have mad respect for, and people that I know that I could walk up to them and shake their hands, and guys like that I could walk up to and they've got a big smile on their face when they see me, and I'm yelling and screaming at them when the show starts because it's a show. Right. So with that being said, it's just crazy to me, like, for somebody who's so good, for nobody to ever like look at him and go, hey, that's the guy. You know what I mean? Like, to go to Cage Match and not see that every single time WWE and AEW, or, for as long as he's been around, WWE has come to town, his number wasn't called and he wasn't working main event or dark matches or whatever the case is. It's just mind boggling. And because he's extremely good. And, you know, regardless of what you may think or what he may show on social media, he's a halfway decent guy. David Risch, we appreciate you joining. If you haven't already, we hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, man. We go live every Thursday night. We talk about Kansas and Missouri independent professional wrestling. And we always interview a wrestler. I think in the almost a year and a half that we've been doing this, we haven't had a wrestler on maybe 4 times. Maybe.
Yeah, the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then 1 or 2 since then.
Okay, so about 6. Yeah. But, you know, well, like I said, I don't want to, you know, because it's a lot more fun to talk the smack about Jeremy and to play into it and whatnot. But you know, as far as what he does for the business, and what he has contributed, there's really nobody on that level. And watching him go in the ring and, you know, doing it at, God, what did he say? He's almost 45 years old.
Yeah. Mid-40s.
You know, I mean, just to watch somebody like that in their mid-40s who's not on you know, a consistent professional level, still go and still look good in the ring doing it. There's not much to say, man. There's not much to say at all. So that's my 2 cents, brother.
2 cents. I like it.
I'm gonna leave it after that. Like I said, you know, I don't want much of our viewers thinking I actually like that guy. So
because we don't. No. Gonna go back and kind of read some of these comments. Luke losing shocked me. Agreed. I don't think Josh will ever book a show. Hopefully Arjun. I think that was to the Scott Tyler November show or October. Yeah. So that'd be a damn good match.
Yeah,
haven't seen Arjun in a while, man. I kind of missed.
You think Arjun and Scott Tyler could team up?
Oh, that's right. We're talking about teaming. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. October 14th, CSW. Conan's a damn good wrestler. Agreed. I meant to bring this up, Billy, when you were talking about Chance Kerrigan, because that was who Chance fought in UUCW. Yes. Was his first official wrestling victory on a night he wasn't even supposed to wrestle, and he beats Conan Lycan, you know. So
yes, agreed.
Pretty cool. So other than that, man, what do we got here? We've got we jumped the gun here. We have one announcement before we get into Anarchy. If you guys have not seen this, I don't have what she actually posted, but if you guys are familiar with Kansas wrestling, we've talked about her a couple times before. Seen her in XWE, but she's wrestled for a few years. Morgan LeVay, and I got her graphic. She was announced to be a part of Heartland Championship Wrestling. She has announced her retirement from the ring, and so we wish her the best. And I don't know how long she had been wrestling, but she was a damn good talent. Wrestled, was it Stormy? I think she wrestled Stormy at the first Leavenworth show. And put on a good match. No, it was Kelsey. It was Kelsey Magnolia. And I remember they came out and they kind of played up to the crowd, you know, hey, this is women's wrestling. This is what it's about. And played up to the crowd. And it was a good match. Enjoyed it. But she did announce her retirement. So unfortunately, we will not be seeing her in Heartland Championship Wrestling or anywhere else for that matter. So good to go out on your own terms, though, you know?
Yes. So, that's number one. And as long as she's happy, that's all that matters.
Yep.
So we wish her the best.
Yeah. So
Red James is still here.
Morgan
is awesome. Morgan is awesome. Yes, she is. Chad Marshall says, all hail the king of CSW. Yeah. I wish it was just the king of CSW.
Yeah.
But
he basically
he's everywhere else.
Before he ran CSW, he was Heartland. Gateway champion, Gateway Heritage champion for like 4 years straight. So
yeah,
Wyatt's been running around. So
speaking of Gateway Heritage, obviously we'll talk about that match last. But St. Louis Anarchy had their biggest event of the year, Circus Maximus 18. It's crazy, man. Like 18 years of Circus Maximus. And Josh, I'll kind of, we'll kind of, bounce back and forth here, but
yeah.
It wasn't my first Anarchy event, and I have talked on this show about how much I love Anarchy and how much I love the Spalding Hall atmosphere. Like I said, I compared it to the Ukrainian Culture Center in Los Angeles, California, where GCW runs a lot of their shows. That's to me, that's what it is. Because even though St. Louis is not Kansas City, it's still Missouri, it's still home. And to go to an event like that, feel that atmosphere, it's very, very awesome. So I have harped on that enough. Josh, this was your first St. Louis Anarchy event. Kind of talk to us about that.
I mean, you prepared me very well because I walked into the venue and I immediately went to all those in my mind, went back to all the streams, all the shows I'd watched on YouTube. And because you walk in, you're looking right at the ring, right exactly the hard cam's at. So we set up back behind, kind of where the hard camera was at. And man, it was a fantastic atmosphere, really, man. It was set up very nicely. Rowdy is a very good word to describe Anarchy fans. You've said that many times, and it's something completely different when you actually experience it in person. You hear it on the video, when you're watching the live streams, but it was a very loud crowd. I got to experience a Gary J entrance, which I was extremely excited for. Seen Gary wrestle all over Kansas and Missouri before, but I've never experienced a St. Louis Anarchy entrance, and that was extremely cool. And it was cool to see you get up there and bang the ring too as he was there. So it was fun. The whole show, top to bottom. I mean, we had, the original card we went over. I'm not going to talk about the matches right now. I'm just saying my overall experiences. Had a couple matches changed a couple days before the event. One was changed on the event day, at least that I could tell. I didn't see any announcement before, but even the changes, man, like phenomenal. Every single match delivered. Every match had a story, and it could have gone either way. Had some false finishes. The Gateway Heritage Championship match the main event was beyond expectations, honestly. And that's another Jeremy Wyatt, tip of the hat to him, but also the champion, Derek Neal. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's up there in my top favorite events, independent wrestling events. So Spalding is like Brian says, it's up there as far as my favorite venues. With the church in Wichita. What was that?
The Temple.
The Temple Live. Yep. Temple was one
of
my favorites.
I don't think the Temple's a church. It might have used to be. I think now it's like a music venue.
It might be. Yeah, because I just saw the stained glass in the background.
Yeah,
so
they're always like marketing because I like them on Facebook, so they're always like sharing like concerts coming, and it's definitely not like church music concerts. Okay. So. But then again, I mean, we are talking about Spalding and Spalding and Spalding is a church as well. And I don't know about you, but I drink about a half gallon of holy water. So.
I did not try the holy water. I did bring my wife. Okay. Megan was there with me at the table all night. She enjoyed it as well. So, I mean,
little hot.
It was. We were sitting by that door going outside, and we could feel the heat coming in. There was only one. There was one spot right kind of by the front door where that cold air was blowing down. You could see it was just a big crowd of people just standing there. You couldn't get to the air. But
that my wife was hanging out there too. I want to highlight this real quick. Chad, who's a friend of the show, he said, "Did you see the poll asking people's opinion if they think Jeremy is the Ric Flair of Kansas City wrestling?" Chad, we posted that. The I-70 hot tag did. So yes, we have seen it. And after we're done breaking down Anarchy, we'll kind of revisit that a little bit because I didn't want Chad to feel left out. But Red James says, "Who did Flair ever beat?" I agree. I agree. 1,000%. But yeah, man, the matches they put on, and like it's a testament to Matt Jackson, obviously how long he's been in this business, what he's had to deal with, and then transitioning, into booker, / promoter, whatever, and kind of watching that and thinking like, somebody posted on, I can't remember who it was, but somebody retweeted on social media on Twitter and said, like if you're a promoter and you're looking how to book or stack or, do your events, look no further than the St. Louis Anarchy. And as somebody who is, about to jump into that venture, it is inspiring to look at that and go like, I mean, it's not a hard formula, man. Like you look at it, but they just do it. So it seamless, easy for them. And it probably, I'm not saying it is, but God, dude, it's just, I could talk all night about how great that show was and how well put together it was.
Can I go ahead?
The fucking air conditioning, don't care. Even if I wasn't sitting front row, I don't fucking care. That's what I've heard, Matt. I've heard Fountain City Pro is going to be pretty good. We'll see. Anyways, like I said, man, I've got a lot of respect for those guys, and just the whole show, top to bottom. Part I loved, and it just goes again, huge testament to who these guys are. Evangelistico and Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson calls Evangelistico into the ring to talk to the fans, and Evan gets in the ring, and all he can do is say great things about Matt. And it's just like, that's just who these guys are. And I don't know, man. It's just like, when I think about like this business, I think about people like that. Like, that's who I want to look at. That's who I want to take things from. And kind of that stuff,
Yeah. No, I was, that's what I was going to talk to you about was, the goosebump moment was,
it's random.
Yeah. Was Evangelistico being there. Yes. Because if you recall, 2 days after, or maybe even 24 hours after the last event,
less than 24 hours,
rushed to the hospital, had, emergency heart surgery. And to see him there was like almost goosebumps. And we saw him before the show started, and then when Matt got to the ring and introduced him, he was able to get into the ring. The crowd, as that's what I really love about wrestling, man. Like these guys are characters; they play a character on screen in the ring. But Evangelistico, huge heel, and I know
he's got a point. I didn't even think about that until I read that. I was like,
I thought it wasn't as random as we thought.
Yeah, I thought it was the most random shit, and then he put that, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess.
But yeah, him, he got in the ring, he started talking about it. The crowd, immediately started cheering, and it was just a cool moment for him. And like you said, man, he didn't even really talk. He did talk about himself a little bit, but a lot of it was talking about how great of a person that Matt Jackson is.
Yeah.
And so I had a blast. I cannot wait to go again because I will go again. I don't know if it's going to be the next show or not, but I will be in St. Louis again for an Anarchy show. Love those guys. Love what they did. Huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, you know, it was cool to see Christian Rose in person again. I hadn't seen him since Journey Pro closed.
But it was the exact same way for me. Like the first time I was able to go to Anarchy and see Christian Rose, I was just like, man, like, you know, I miss seeing those guys. You know what I mean? Like as soon as I saw Christian Rose, I was just like, man, you know, bring it in, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool seeing him. You know, it's cool to see, you know, Derek Neal. We see him a lot in CSW, but as that dominant champion in Anarchy, and extremely, it was just. And I'll tell you what, the weirdest thing, and then we can you know call it an evening, but I never thought in my entire life that I would ever see or hear a wrestling crowd cheering for Jeremy Wyatt. And it happened the entire main event. I have never seen that before. And it was weird to me.
Yep. He, you know, just a little bit of a small little history there. Derek Neal and Dingo had a match, and this was a few months ago, and Derek Neal won, and then Derek Neal was about to continue the beating of Dingo, and then Jeremy Wyatt shows up to save Dingo, and it was just like, yeah, this is weird. And I was like, I mean, even all of us in the crowd were, as soon as he helped Dingo up and he shook Dingo's hand, I was like, don't do it. I was like, don't do it. It's a trap, you know? And then the next month, he comes out, and Yamashita and Billy Starks are, you know, celebrating their match and how good of a match they just put on for the crowd. It was the main event, and Greg Jovi and his family comes out. And they were like surrounding the ring and gonna pick on Billy Starks and Yamashita, and then Jeremy Wyatt comes out, makes a save, and then like then it started to get really weird because like when he hit the ring, like there was a burst of cheers, and I was like, this isn't happening. Like I've said this a few times on the show. I walked out of that building, or I was like kind of like standing there right by the entrance, and Walter walked by me, and Walter was like, babyface Jeremy Wyatt, man, it just doesn't seem right. And I was like, I'm not in it, man. I can't get into it. And then that match, there I am, you know, and there's Jeremy, which is crazy because one of the things that didn't get brought up about that was Jeremy wrestled Derek Neal in an instant classic Friday night, and then goes and wrestles Dak Draper less than 24 hours later in a 60-minute Iron Man match. You know, and I don't know the other parts of Jeremy's schedule. Then you know, obviously, you know, like I said, this will be the last time we do this. I'm not gonna spend any other show saying good stuff about Jeremy Wyatt ever again. But one of the comments that kind of like really stuck out to me was, you know, Jeremy doesn't tell people that he gets up at 3 a.m. to go to work and will still go wrestle a show afterwards. And it's like, dude, like it's like, you know, like I said, you know, it is what it is. You know, he's a phenomenal person in the ring, and you know, so kudos to him, man. Like I said, that main event stole the show, tore the house down. You did see Jeremy Wyatt be was visually upset when he left the ring. So
Yeah, because it wasn't, it wasn't Anarchy Rules, but it wasn't just a clean loss for old Wyatt. So
listen, there's the Anarchy crowd, and just like there is some usuals in Kansas City crowds, there is some usuals in St. Louis Anarchy, and there is a guy. Looks like a young kid, maybe 18, 20 years old. And he's got this long curly red hair because he wears a hat and glasses. And that dude was through the roof pissed off. He always sits in the corner seats by the entrance. He was through the roof pissed off because the referee called rope break. When Jeremy had that crossface locked in on Derek, and Derek got to the ropes, and he called rope break, and the kid was like, "It's Anarchy Rules, you fucking idiot!" And then like the people around him were trying to calm down, and he's like, "No," he's like, "They're screwing him over, and we have to watch this shit again." Dude, it was just
I love it.
Like, obviously, like the whole thing, but I love going to events and seeing like the different fan reactions. But if you've been a part of this show or listen to this show more than enough, I will tell you guys, you have heard us harp on how awesome St. Louis Anarchy is. You have heard us harp on how fun the events are and whatnot. So definitely, if you have the time, or whatever, to make it out to, it's about a 5-hour drive from Kansas City, because you're not just driving to St. Louis, you're driving to Alton, Illinois, which is about 20 or about 40 minutes outside of St. Louis on the Illinois side. But like I said, it's worth it. So that's all I got, man.
Yeah, I think I can't add anything else that you haven't already said. Make the trip if you can. And if you can lump it, which we could have made a very nice weekend if we wanted to. We had Anarchy on Friday. We had Cape Championship Wrestling happening just an hour and a half, 2 hours south of St. Louis on Saturday. We had Glory Pro on Sunday. Could have made 3 events in 3 days if we wanted to. I was right back out.
If we wanted to, we could have gone to Anarchy, came back to Kansas City, gone to CSW, and then gone back to St. Louis and gone to Glory Pro,
and then drove back to Kansas City. That's dedication right there.
Yes,
but you got to do what you got to do. I mean, we do this for a living, don't we? This is just what we do.
Fuck, man, I wish.
I wish.
Find us a few sponsors, like some big time sponsors that will just
pay for us to travel.
Yeah. They'll like we'll take some merch of theirs and you put it at the I-70 hot tag table, and they can just pay for our fuel. And I mean, they don't even have to pay for the hotel. They just pay for the fuel and the sponsorships. Or I mean, maybe the fuel in the hotel, and I'll pay for the sponsorships. I don't know, but God, man, I'd love to have that happen.
That would be cool.
Chad Marshall says, I missed most of the show, but who do you think gets first shot at Jeremy?
That is a good question. Scott
Tyler. It's the only answer.
Well, it's not going to be Scott Tyler, because Scott
But
Tyler
it should be.
I agree. 100% agree.
Yes.
Maybe Scott Tyler, goes on to.
He's undefeated.
He is. In singles competition, he is undefeated. He's never been pinned.
Red James.
Could be Red James.
Could be. It'd be a little weird, 2 heels working together. I can't see, I mean, it's in Lenexa, Kansas. And so Red doesn't really appeal to those people, in Lenexa, Kansas, because, all those people in Kansas have all their teeth. So. Dak will get his rematch, I'm sure.
He will eventually. I don't know, man. I mean, we've seen, as much as I would love to see, eat my ass. I was gonna say Kenny Alfonso, but we've seen Jeremy Wyatt and Alfonso for a title in CSW, so I don't think it's gonna be him.
What if it's Gil Rogers?
It better fucking not be. It better fucking not be. I'll be 100% honest with you. It damn should have been Luke Langley, but again, well, they're not going to put two heels, I wouldn't think, against each other. But yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. Langley's going to go. I don't know. I don't think he's going to do now. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and think about it forever, but I'll say Scott Tyler should be the guy. It's not going to be. He's going to be going against the Premier probably, but other than that, I mean, I keep thinking of heels. I mean, Arjun Singh never got his title shot. I know he's been gone for a while, but he called for a title, but
might as well be.
So what's happening this? We got a couple events coming up. OCW.
And I'll tell you what, man, I would love to make it out to this event because Kansas City had a taco margarita festival and I didn't get to make it to that one. So I don't hate that going to Topeka and watching OCW, seeing our friend Matt Stockdale if he's working there. But yeah, man. And then August 5th, also you're going to see WWX Body Slam on Cancer. And then the next weekend on August 12th, you're going to see quite a few shows, man, and it's a little spread out. So no matter where you are, you're going to be able to go watch some good wrestling. Obviously the Heartland Championship Wrestling, we're a little biased to that, guys, because it's only an hour away from Kansas City. Come watch that event, main evented by ACFC versus the Howlets.
And we're sponsoring it.
That is correct. Mid-States Wrestling is going to be in Springfield, Missouri. So you got Luke Langley versus Sam Stackhouse for the Mid-States heavyweight title. That's going to be a fucking amazing match. And then MMWA Inferno at the South Broadway Athletic Club. So if you are in kind of like that central Missouri area, you can drop down about an hour to Springfield, check out Mid-States and that banger of a match they got going on there, Sam Stackhouse and Luke Langley. If you're on the east side of Missouri, MMWA Inferno at the South Broadway Athletic Club. And then, of course, if you're in the Kansas City, pop it up at about an hour into Kansas and go see HCW, guys.
Yes. And then next Thursday, we will have the return of the illustrious Ray Leon and Dick. Both have been guests on our show before. They will be on just 2 days before Heartland Championship Wrestling, going to promote their match, or Ray's match, not Dick's.
Brian J is going to be in Leavenworth.
Hell yeah, my man. Yeah. So that'll be a fun episode next week. If you guys did not already hear on the mid-show break, we've got on the 17th, we've booked Mason St. Goods. We've got Nixie XS on the 24th, and we've got Brandon Beretta on the 31st, and that wraps the August shows of the I-70 Hot Tag. So we are got some fun shows coming up. Can't wait to interview all those guys, especially Mason. Talk about Team Forge. Seen him a couple times in CSW and the St. Louis area. So
absolutely.
All right. Man,
by golly,
right at 2 hours. Look at that.
I know, man. I love it. I love it. So Josh, if you don't have anything else, appreciate everybody joining in the chat tonight. Red James, Brian J, Chad Marshall, even everybody from before, Circumstances, Stitchamania, Raz, all you guys, man. I know I'm going to leave some people out, but this was a busy show tonight.
Yes,
and we greatly appreciated the likes, the hearts, all the stuff that was done. Like I've said a million times, the comments and all those interactions, guys, it helps Facebook and YouTube know that you like watching the show. And so it pushes it out for other people to watch it as well. So with that being said, my name is Chase, CR Media. This is my friend, my co-host, Josh, the real Josh Elliott. And as always, good night.